Hello and thank you for joining us on the news on NTA International. I'm Lami Ali. Hannah Olainka is on the sign language. We begin with the headlines. New dawn in Nigeria's agricultural revolution as President Tinubu inaugurates over 2,000 agricultural equipment. 50 AU member countries converge on Nigeria for the 4th MSME Forum. Vice President Shettima calls for intra-African trade to boost the economy. Mali's junta chief Assimi Goïta takes part in wrist-laying ceremony at the tomb of the unknown soldier near the Kremlin. President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated more than 2,000 units of agricultural equipment and implements aimed at enhancing the country's food security. The heavy-duty machinery were deployed under the Nigeria-Belarus partnership. Musa Baba Aliwu reports.
This is the first time in the history of Nigeria that a large number of tractors and other agricultural equipment have been deployed to enhance productivity. This achievement is in fulfillment of President Tinubu's renewed hope for food security. The tractors which were assembled in Abuja were procured under the Nigeria-Belarus mechanization partnership that was formalized in September 2024. President Tinubu stated that the initiative aims to uplift Nigeria's food production capability, increase farmers' output, and create jobs for younger people.
The allocation of this equipment throughout the country will do a lot to give our nations abundant arable land and favorable climate that we have. We must seize the opportunity to achieve complete agricultural independence and food sovereignty. To all stakeholders to receiving this equipment, deploy them with maximum efficiency. We will work with you.
The president thanked the Belarus government for its partnership, which facilitated the deployment of the equipment. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, provided a breakdown of the equipment, which include 2,000 high-quality tractors with trailers, plows, harrows, sprayers, and planters, 10 state-of-the-art combined harvesters, 12 fully equipped mobile workshops, 50 bulldozers for agricultural and land development, and over 9,000 complementary implements and spare parts.
This program was designed by this administration to bring over 550,000 hectares of farmland under cultivation, generate more than 2 million metric tons of staple food, create over 16,000 jobs, and directly benefit more than 550,000 farming households across all 6 geopolitical zones.
This particular program is unique because it was packaged with the intention to bring down the level of low mechanization in the country. The 0.27 horsepower per hectare, that is the current mechanization level in this country, will be transformed to almost 2.5 horsepower per hectare at the end of the day.
To maximize impact, the tractors will be distributed through 3 key schemes: direct purchase for individuals and organizations wishing to acquire them outright, a leasing scheme that offers affordable access to mechanization without the full cost of ownership, and a service provider model that establishes tractor service centers in farming communities, enabling smallholder farmers to lease tractors as needed. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Nigeria is adopting a multifaceted approach to combating poverty and food security, which are negatively impacting national security. Minister of Defense Muhammad Badaru Abubakar stated this as the 14th National Security Seminar organized by the Alumni Association of the National Defense College in collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor and the National Defense College in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa brings us the details.
For the past 14 years, the alumni of the National Defense College, the apex military training institution in Nigeria, has been interfacing with experts, developing research-based solutions to the nation's emerging security challenges. The dynamic nature of the security threats and transborder crime, organizers of the seminar say necessitated the annual program with focus on profiling strategy to tackle current threats. The theme of the 2025 program, Combating Hunger and Poverty for Sustainable Peace and Development in Nigeria, is a comprehensive approach to addressing security challenges.
Economic initiatives are useful tools in resolving conflicts because they help to bring people, communities and groups together with a view to fostering security.
In the contemporary operating security environment we are in, development and security cannot be distinguished.
The emphasis of this year's seminar on critical human security issues such as hunger and poverty align with the President's commitment to improving the lives of vulnerable Nigerians. His intervention through support for agricultural initiative, youth vocational training and provision of essential social services have directly impacted countless lives and contribute meaningfully to grassroots peace building.
With climate change, deforestation, and poverty impacting negatively on socio-economic development and national security, upscaling non-kinetic approach in fighting insecurity through events like this is imperative. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Agriculture has long held a place in Nigeria's education system, from post-independence farm-based learning to the School to Land initiative of the 1980s. But with time, that tradition faded. In a renewed effort to restore agriculture as a key driver of self-reliance, productivity and economic growth, the federal government, through the National Senior Secondary Education Commission, has convened a workshop for agriculture desk officers from 18 states and the FCT. Here is the report.
Grow What You Eat focuses on integrating agricultural entrepreneurship into the secondary school curriculum, preparing students not just for exams, but for life, work, and national development, as agriculture remains the cornerstone of Nigeria's economy, providing livelihoods for millions and contributing approximately 25% to the nation's gross domestic product. The initiative aims to make senior secondary school education more practical and inclusive by repositioning school agriculture as a tool for skills acquisition, food security, and youth empowerment to meet the nation's development needs.
The Grow What You Eat program seeks to transform school gardens into living classrooms, where students not only learn the science of agriculture, but also develop business acumen, environmental awareness, and the values of hard work and self-sufficiency.
So the mission fostering agricultural literacy, entrepreneurship, and career readiness among students.
It is going to link a theoretical aspect of teaching agriculture to the practical aspect of agriculture in our school.
So this will help us to reduce cost effects on buying food in our school, and it will help us in bringing revenue to the state.
It is expected to nurture a generation of resilient students who not only grow what they eat, but are also equipped to earn from what they grow.
Nigeria is hosting 50 African countries as the 4th African Union MSME Forum, aimed at addressing challenges affecting small businesses, particularly affordable financing, enhancing digital transformation, and improving market access. Vice President Kashim Shettima at the event calls for intra-African trade and support for the growth of small businesses on the continent. The State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Building resilient MSMEs through digital innovation, market access and affordable financing for Africa is the theme of the 4th African Union MSME Forum. It is an opportunity to empower micro, small and medium enterprises, develop intra-African value chains and strengthen policies on MSME development.
Over the next few days, let us delve into the heart of these issues, not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for collective action and innovation.
Part of the things we hope to be seeing in the next 3 days is deliberating as Africans on how we can sustain this tempo.
Each of these gatherings has provided capacity building opportunities for MSMEs showcase their business and access to new markets in the ACFTA and the rest of the world. During the third MSME Forum, we launched the inaugural Enterprise Africa Network Fellowship Program with 56 selected business from over 30 African nationalities, and some of them are exhibiting their products here today. Over the last few months, their growth and progress have been remarkable, with significant impact in sustainable agriculture, manufacturing, digital transformation, mineral resource value addition, and creative industries.
This is also expected to expose key players and other stakeholders to leverage the platform provided by the forum to build new networks for investment and market access across Africa and beyond.
That is why we must not only build local infrastructure for entrepreneurial expansion, but must also entrench cross-border cooperation. Our destinies, after all, are bound together. Still, we are not naive about the obstacles that confront our MSMEs. Limited access to affordable finance remains a recurring nightmare. It costs our continent not just money, it costs us momentum. The African Union's recent launch of the Akili AI platform in partnership with Meta and Deloitte is a bold step in the right direction. It is a sign that we are not just watching the world change, we are part of the change.
The African Trade Observatory is a very useful digital.
Other stakeholders at the forum commended Nigeria's significant milestone in hosting the event, describing it as one way of showcasing to the world that Nigeria is ready to do business, pledging commitment and support of their organizations toward a successful forum. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Now that Nigeria is attracting positive interest from investors and the rest of the global community, we must do whatever we can do to promote the image of the country, starting with ending the surge of violence in some parts of the country. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this while reacting to the violent attacks in Benue and Plateau states on the margins of the 2025 second quarter high-level meeting with state governors' wives and RHI state coordinators in her office. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
It is the second year of Renewed Hope Initiative's interventionist program, and state governors' wives, enablers of the initiative's activities, again converged on the office of the First Lady for their quarterly meeting, this time for a mid-term assessment.
Educating Linda, which is a
from taking stock of RHI interventions in all its 5 focal areas to getting feedback on its collaboration and advocacy in health, agriculture, and economic empowerment. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu outlined other programs which seek to empower women and children in the country.
For TED Fund and RHI collaboration, construction ongoing for ICT experience centers in Taraba, Kaduna, Kwara, Ekiti, Anambra, and Cross River.
With our eyes set on getting communities involved in protecting the environment, the First Lady announced a new competition tagged RHI Green Nigeria Challenge that will not only roll back desert encroachment, but also tackle indiscriminate disposal of plastic wastes.
We have the household category, which is tree planting, target 2 years or less, and is households in the northern Nigeria. Prize money, we peg it to 10 million. Number 2 is the community Green Transformation Challenge, which is transformation of degraded community areas into green parks, garden, and eco spaces. State tree planting project, Eco Rise Challenge, that's what it is called, for each state, and that's for 1 year. This is open to all Nigerians farms across 36 states and FCT.
At present, the nation enjoys a fresh breath of air in the international community and so cannot afford to be dragged back by insecurity.
This is evil, very, very evil. We women have to pray because I don't know those who are so bloodthirsty. This shouldn't be happening, but work is going to keep going. Well, we're going to work, and we've just started working.
As the journey into the next 2 years begins for RHI, the First Lady says more can be achieved given the right support and resources.
I'm to go to the Senate. I'm going to do this program like we do zonal intervention programs. Even if it is 500 million they want to give us, if it is 1 billion, then we're going to use it for this, and then we can be accountable. And I think, we can do that. And it should be with the First Lady who wants to work. She shouldn't be restricted.
2 years on, we've done all these things in the States. We've helped the elderly, the disabled, women farmers. We've done the Every Home a Garden, so many interventions.
The next quarterly meeting holds in September this year. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwu, NTA News.
This broadcast is reaching you from the Abuja studios of NTA International. We take a break to stay. Thank you for staying. Mali's junta chief Assimi Goïta takes part in a wreath-laying ceremony at the tomb of the unknown soldier near the Kremlin. This was during his visit to Moscow to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin to deepen diplomatic ties. Comfort Fashion reports.
After the wreath-laying ceremony of the remembrance of the unknown soldiers near Kremlin, Mali's military strongman, General Assimi Goïta, told Russian leader Vladimir Putin in Moscow on Monday that he wanted to reinforce ties with the Kremlin, a key supporter of the West African country's battle against jihadism. Under the general, who came to power after coups in 2020 and 2021, Mali has steered away from its former colonial master, France, mainly in favor of closer ties with Moscow. Goïta's days-long visit comes as Mali struggles to contain the country's long-running jihadist threats. Goïta told Putin in the Kremlin that he is convinced his visit will be an occasion to reinforce their relations. The general, who arrived in Moscow on Sunday, is meant to stay most of the week. He said he wanted to expand cooperation in defense, transport, and the economy. Russia has for years sought to expand its influence in Africa, in particular through the rise of mercenaries sponsored by the Kremlin. Russian president said it was a great pleasure to host the African junta chief in Moscow, and that there are good prospects for developing ties in natural resources, energy and logistics. Comfort, fashion, NTA News.
The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Professor Abdullahi Saleh Usman, has described as exceptional the media coverage of the 2025 Hajj operation, saying it has contributed immensely to the overall success recorded this year. He made the remarks at a farewell dinner organized by the NACON for the 2025 National Media Team in Makkah. Correspondent Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
These are members of the NACON media team for the 2025 Hajj, being hosted to a farewell dinner by the chairman of the commission and his management team in Makkah.
I'm very, very happy for what you have done.
The NACON chairman, who described this year's media coverage of the Hajj operation as exceptional, says it has contributed immensely to the overall success being celebrated by the commission.
I have no word in my mind to express my feeling, to express what I feel about your positive cooperation.
Some other NACON top officials also speak at the event.
What we have seen so far in this operation, you have done well. And may Almighty Allah bless you more and more.
You work tirelessly to improve our distorted image to the better.
We believe in you.
that you will continue to report the positive side of us, because all what you have done is very, very positive.
And I also wish to thank your coordinator, Hajia Fatima Usara, for coordinating all your activities during this Hajj operation. May Allah reward you abundantly.
Manako National Media Team for the 2025 Hajj operation, inaugurated in May this year in Abuja, has more than 60 members representing various conventional and online media platforms from across Nigeria. In Makkah, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Now, as nations shift attention to advancing the cause of widows to rebuild their resilience, a women's advocate, Joyce Matthews-Andrew, visited our studio and gave tips on navigating the path of widows through efforts of government and non-governmental organizations.
The widows are special people. They are wonderful people. They are people that when you see them, they are doing wonders. So in everything we are doing, we make sure we put widows first in their activities. The Renew Hope are really doing good and great. Our president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, is trying, and his wife, Senator Remy, she is doing well. She has proved herself to be a mother to all women, the widows, to see that women are doing well in the empowerment axis, and some of the NGOs, the philanthropists outside, they are also doing well, putting their head together to see how these widows and these women will be great and become something. But with the Renew Hope and NGO that are putting heads together to make sure that the widows are happy.
Heads of service of 36 states and the FCT are in Abuja for a study tour as a strategic tool to support ongoing reforms, leadership development and modernization of public administration. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, DD Esther Wilson-Jack, says the tour will help identify effective ideas and models that can be localized to improve existing administrative systems in the states. Haman Jabani reports.
The study tour by the state's head of service will provide first-hand insight into effective strategies in digital governance, performance management, transparency, and citizen-centric service delivery, while providing practical lessons that can inform policy making and implementation back in their states. The two-day study tour, head of the Civil Service of the Federation, says will help identify effective ideas and models that can be localized to improve existing administrative system and spark reforms that align with modern public sector standard.
Our objectives here are clear: to deepen our understanding of best practices in strategic planning, service delivery, and human capital management, to explore how digital tools and data-driven systems can reshape our operations for greater impact.
Some of the participants speak on their expectations.
It's transformation, total transformation of the civil service. And we'll have a lot of this to go on, and this will anchor on technology and innovation. A lot of trainings will also go into this process so that we have a knowledgeable civil servants.
It's like a form of a peer review for the states. So as we're here, we've heard what other states are doing, and then when we get back to our states, whatever we feel that, you have to adapt to your own state. So when you hear and you are inspired by it, you take it back and you try to replicate.
We're going to have collaborations with stakeholders, collaborations with the Office of the Head of Service of the Federation, so that we can go back home and develop the service in our states and local governments too.
The tour, which will take participants through key federal ministries and institutions in Abuja, also seeks to strengthen the partnership between the federal and state civil services. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Politics now. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has insisted on holding its 100th National Executive Committee meeting scheduled for June 30, 2025. This is in spite of the rejection of its notice by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that the party's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, stated this at a media briefing in Abuja.
This media briefing is on the heels of the PDP forthcoming 100 National Executive Committee meeting. Ahead of the meeting, PDP had written INEC notifying it of the proposed event, but INEC replied to the party, saying that the second signatory to the letter, who signed along with the PDP chairman, is unknown to read.
The PDP concern is almost near perfect.
The PDP has described the rejection of its notification by the electoral body as an attempt to interfere in its internal affairs, noting that the PDP merely sent a notification to INEC as a matter of courtesy, that it was not under any legal obligation to notify the electoral body.
We didn't say to you we are conducting a meeting to elect officers. We didn't say we're going to do primary to get nominated for an elected position. We didn't say we're meeting because we're considering possibility of mergers.
The PDP's 100 National Executive Committee meeting is expected to review progress on preparations for its forthcoming national convention, including updates from the zoning and convention committees established at the 99th NEC meeting. Other expectations include update on the Reconciliation Committee headed by the former President of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And that brings us to the end of the news. We thank you for watching. I'm Lami Ali. Hannah Olainka has been the sign language interpreter. Do have a good evening.